Hi, I'm Andrew Helmich from Impact Images, and in today's short video I just want to show you how to plan your wedding day or give you some ideas how to structure a timetable so that your day runs perfectly. When couples come to see me, this is one of the most asked questions. They're just not sure exactly how to lay out the day so it does run smoothly. And there's nothing worse than spending a year planning your wedding and finding on the day that you haven't left enough time for something and you find yourself rushing, and it's just horrible. Like, the day is so special and it's such an awesome day that with a little bit of good planning, everything can run smoothly and you don't have any of those dramas, and you shouldn't have, like at your wedding day. So the easiest way I find to do this is to work backwards from the end of the day, or at least from when you're going to have your meals served. So let's say, for example, you're going to have your meals at 6:30. So meals served at 6:30. Meals served. Now, my writing's pretty rough in some areas, so you have to excuse that, but I'll try and make this as legible as possible, and you should get the idea of how to do this for yourself for your own day anyway. So 6:30 meals served. That could be entree, main, depending on what you've worked out with your reception centre. So if you have, let's base this on, say, a 100-person wedding, a typical Aussie wedding. If that's the case, you're probably going to want about 15 minutes to for your MC to get everyone seated and to do a bit of a greeting, introductions for you and your bridal party. So that's going to take us back to 6:15. So that's intros by the MC. So if generally your guests are already at the reception before you arrive. They're waiting to go in. They may have been having canapes or drinks just outside. That's a pretty typical scenario. So I try and have you guys back by about 6 o'clock, and that gives you a little bit of time to freshen up, just to relax, have a chat to you and your bridal party and your new husband or wife. Just soak in the atmosphere and enjoy the day. Touch up your lippy, make sure the hair's perfect, and you just don't want to have to be rushing all day. So you just need those little bits of time built in. So bridal party arrives, and this is at the reception. Okay, hope you can read that. That's bridal party arrives. Now, before that, you're probably going to be at your photo shoot with your photographer. Most photographers, me included, we like to have about an hour for photos, not counting travel time. If you have a super large bridal party, say 6 bridesmaids or more, and groomsmen on the other side, you may need longer than 1 hour. And on the flip side, if you have no bridal party, it's just the two of you, then you're going to need less time than a full hour unless you have multiple locations. So there's going to be a few factors to take into account there, and your photographer will be able to help you with that. So let's say you have about an hour for your photos. So that's going to take us back to 5 o'clock that the photos will start. So that's the photo shoot. Now, generally, you're going to be driving somewhere for your photos. It could be from the ceremony to the reception. It could be ceremony to photo shoot, or it could be ceremony, photo shoot 1, photo shoot 2 for different locations, and then off to your reception. So look, let's base this on a typical or a small Central Coast or Newcastle wedding, and we'll say everything's pretty close, and we're going to have a half hour of travel time. So that'll take us back to 4:30. So that's travel time. Now that can be, you can divide that travel time up any way you like. So that could be 15 minutes of photos at the church or the ceremony or the gardens or wherever you had your ceremony, and then you have a 15-minute drive to another location, then you have another 45 minutes of photos, and then another 15-minute drive. So either way, that total time will be 1 hour and 30 minutes, so an hour and a half, and that's still going to give us that same scenario. Again, you can tweak that to suit your day, depending on how much travel time you need, how many stops, how large your bridal party is. So, before this would be your group photos and family photos after the ceremony, and also that really special time with the hugs and kisses and getting congratulated by all your family and friends and guests after the ceremony. So, let's again, working backwards. I try and do the big group shot first with everyone, and also some family shots immediately after that. So that takes me about 10 minutes. And again, I think most photographers will be the same. So that's 4:20. That's for group photo. And we're going to pull the family photos in there as well. Okay, so group photo and family photos together at 4:20. And then before that, that's that hugs and kisses and congratulating time. So that's 4 p.m. let's just call that hugs and kisses. And that's like I said, that's a really nice time. I shouldn't talk and write at the same time because I'm making mistakes here. Hugs and kisses. Should I fix that so you can read that better? Hugs and kisses. Okay, so that's once you've actually come down the aisle, meeting and greeting, saying hello to everyone. Really nice time. If again it's a typical Australian wedding, it could be a garden, could be at the beach, could be in a chapel or a church, they're generally going to be about 30 minutes, half an hour. Okay, you might find if it's a large Catholic ceremony with a full mass, then it's going to be blow out to 1 hour. Again, so just factor that in. But most weddings are around half an hour, which means that the ceremony would start at 3:30. So 3:30 p.m. for ceremony start. I should have had Nat do this because her writing is a lot nicer than mine. Again, hopefully you'll get the idea. So ceremony start at 3:30. It's going to take us to 4 o'clock. So again, we take our scenario of a small Central Coast or Newcastle wedding. Everything's local, and you happen to be getting ready 15 minutes away from where the ceremony is, or the chapel. That means you would be leaving home at 3:15. This is the bride I'm talking to, so 3:15. So bride leaves home, and that's leaving home for the ceremony. Okay, and if you arrive there a little bit earlier, look, most girls are running late, but if you do happen to find yourself arriving at the chapel a little bit early, I say instead of pulling up at the front door, do a lap around the block or swing off a little bit early, and just enjoy the cars for an extra 5 minutes. And just soak in the atmosphere. It's better to do that than turn up 5 minutes early and watch all your guests and family scramble to get into the church because you arrive early. So it's better to come a little bit late. It's fashionable. It's nice. Okay, so once I arrive at your house, or the photographer arrives at your house, we generally like to have about an hour to an hour and a half. That's going to change a little bit depending on your photographer. So look, let's say an hour and a half in this scenario, and then again you can tweak that depending on your photographer. So if that's the case, that's going to take us back to 1:45. 1:45, and that's going to be photographer arrives at the bride's house. I like to have it so that your hair and makeup is done when I arrive, and you're ready to get into your dress. The bridesmaids can be in their dresses or ready to get into them as well, as long as everything's ready to go. Nothing worse than turning up and having hairdressers and makeup artists still working, on the second bridesmaid out of 4, and really holding things up. What's worse than that though is if the bride's not ready, you're not ready, and you still haven't got your hair and makeup done, because then really there's little we can do. We can get some detail shots and things, but you're the star of the show and we want to get photos of you, so it's a really good idea not to go last with your hair and makeup. So 1:45, arrive at your place with you and the girls and your parents and any other family that are there. Again, our local scenario, we'll say the guys are getting ready 15 minutes away from where you are. That means I'll be leaving them at 1:30. So leaving the guys. Okay, and again, I, like most photographers, we like to have about an hour with the guys, so I'll be arriving there at 12:30. Arrive at guys' place. Okay, so with the guys, I like to have the guys showered and shaved, ready to go when I turn up. They don't have to be suited up, they can get into their suits once I get there. And then away we go. That's pretty much it. That's as simple as that. You can tweak those times to suit you. If you've got a larger bridal party, smaller bridal party, if you've got to go out to have your hair and makeup done, just factor those times in, and just as long as you fit in with those times, you'll have to factor in that little bit of time driving to and from the hairdresser or makeup artist. If you can get them to come to you, I think that's a lot better option, but it's up to you. It's your day, you do it your way, but just look at those times, work that in with your plans, and the day will be awesome. There's nothing worse than rushing, so if you're in doubt, leave a little bit extra, 10 or 15 minutes here or there, and talk to your function coordinator with your reception center. Really the time that you can't change is that meal time. So that 6:30 time, that's a really important one. The chefs really hate it if they've got to serve cold food or try and keep things warm. They want to serve food at their best, and you're paying a lot of money for those meals, so we really work hard to have you there on time if that's the time you've given us. So yeah, I hope that helps. If you get a chance, stop by my blog, which is www.impact-blog.com.au. Natalie and I have got tips and advice there to make your day, better than what it could have been. Little things from service providers and experience that we've picked up along the way as well. So hope to see you there. Love it if you leave a comment and or any questions for us as well. So hope to see you soon. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.